Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my Ark Survival Ascended content. So today I wanted to give you a little status update on where I'm at with the Gacha Farmin. Gacha Farmin Episode 2. So what I've done is I've kind of mapped out what my plans are going to be. Right now I have two pairs of gachas that can produce element for me. I have a male and female element gacha over here in this corner, and I have a male and a female element gacha over here in this corner. They each have their own pegomastax so that it can collect the crystals as they drop them, kind of like that. And I basically run them on stone, and I also have been supplementing with plant species Y seed. You can see up there on the top of the roof that I have me some plant species Y started. I was not sure if you could get those on the center, and then I looked in my box and I found some plant species Y seed that I had that I didn't even know that I had. So basically I'm going to get these started to where I can have a ton of these growing species Y trap, because species Y trap makes a very good gacha food. And once I get it automated to where I have enough plants going that they can reliably produce enough species Y trap, I can collect those and use those to supplement in my gachas. So that'll help, but mainly what the bulk of it is going to be fed from stone. And I've got my little donkey hole right here where my donkey goes out into the ocean bottom and gets me stone, and then comes through that gate and pops right up this hole. I unload the stone into this box that I have sitting here, and then I go ahead and dump off the metal as well, because I get quite a bit of metal when I'm doing that also. Just hitting stone, the donkey gets, you'd be surprised how much metal that thing will get, not even trying to. I usually get anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 raw metal every run for stone. So that's nothing to sneeze at, because that's going to add up, and that's going to be really nice. So I use some skins to kind of make the plan more visible. I got the marble skin, and that kind of shows you the layout of what I'm looking at doing on the white ceiling tile skin. It made it pop a little better so that we could actually see it when we're talking about it. I've got a 3x3 in each corner, and that's basically the pad where I'm going to plan to put the gachas. So as you can see, I've got one pair there, I'm going to put another pair there, I'm going to put another pair there, and I'm going to put another pair there, which I have right now. So I'll end up having 4 pair. Each one will have its own pegomastax, and it's going to be kind of centrally located around the donkey hole, to where whenever I come up and fill the box with stone, I can just stand at the box and throw stone at each corner, and I can usually get it to them in 2 throws. So I can fill my inventory up with about 30 stacks of stone and throw them one time, and then run over there and pick them all up and then throw them again, and I throw them far enough to get the stone in front of the gacha to where they will then both reach down and just grab it until they fill themselves up. I have the exact amount I need notated to where, I don't waste any stone by throwing more than they can pick up. I usually get just enough to get them both full. And then I walk away and I let them run, and the pegomastax picks up the crystals, and then in like I haven't timed it out yet because I want to kind of get my teams set up before I worry about setting up an actual time to farm. I basically call it a time to farm, and it basically will be how long I can fill them up and then walk away and not have to worry about coming back to either refill them or to just unload the Pegomastax and then grab the loot. But right now it's somewhere around 2 hours with a full inventory load of stone with the 2 pair that I have right now. So these right here, you can see they're still full. They've only been running for just a little while, but you know, they've already produced quite a bit of crystals. They've only been running for like 30 minutes probably, but they've already produced quite a bit of crystals. Let's go pick up the crystals from this one. And I don't really have the math done yet on what I actually can achieve per day because it's kind of subjective. It just depends on how many times I can actually take the donkey out and farm stone, because that's basically the biggest holdup at this point is how long it takes me to farm stone. That's kind of why I want to supplement with plant species Y-trap so that I can get some of that growing on its own, and all I basically have to do at that point is just go collect them. As you can see up top in my garden, you can stack crop plots, so eventually I'll have enough seed built up. I only had enough seed to set up about 4, and then I've constantly been pulling seed out of them as they produce it to get more going. And I can have, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 crop plots stacked in a stack, and I'll have like 5 or 6 of those. So I should have quite a few plants. Basically keeping the plants full of fertilizer is going to be a challenge, but I have my dung lord here. He picks up all the dookie and he makes fertilizer. And then he also, an added little side benefit that I did not realize was that these little dudes will pick up owl pellets. So owl pellets are going to be very useful for either supplementing the food on the gachas to make them have a higher quality crystal, or use as fertilizer because it's basically the best fertilizer in the game. I think it gives like 50,000 nitrogen per piece. And one of the really super sweet things about the owl pellets in the beetle is look at that spoil time. I don't have to worry about these things spoiling in the beetles. In the boxes or the preserving bin or anywhere else you can put them, they only have like 13 days, but here inside a beetle they have like almost 1400 days. That's so long that yeah, they'll never spoil. So that's something really cool that I was actually pretty proud of myself for figuring that out, because I did not know that before. So yeah, that's going to help tremendously. Once I get my owls going to where I have quite a few owls spitting out pellets, that's going to help a lot. This is my first baby off of my pair that I've had. I've almost got it growed up. It's going to be my healer. And then I'm going to make more babies to just basically make pellet machines. I had one more baby, but I accidentally let it die. I was busy doing other stuff, and I let it starve to death. And I've actually had, speaking of that, I've actually had quite a setback here on my gacha, because this morning I had 7 gacha sitting here growing up. And I underestimated just how fast these things will deplete a trough. Because for some reason, whenever they eat, they don't just eat one. They'll take like half a stack per feeding. And if you're not careful, they will deplete your whole trough in 7 of them depleted a full trough in like an hour and a half. And before I knew it, they had starved to death and died. And I did not know that, because I don't remember them ever being like that when raising them before. So I don't know if that's something that's changed or if I just don't remember because it's been so long. but I don't remember having to fight these Gacha to get them raised like that. I'm going to have to keep a really close eye on them, because this one right here is the only one I had left out of the 7 that I caught before it died, and it almost died too, and then I lost 6 others. So there were 6 females, and none of them luckily were element dust, but they were my breeders to be able to get more going so that I can make a bunch of babies at once and hopefully get some more element dust. So yeah, that was a big setback for me, so that kind of put me back a little bit, but I'll survive, because like you can see, I'm doing pretty good already. I figured out that if you just hold your right trigger button down on your crystals, it will go through and open them all for you, and you don't have to sit there and move your cursor around over and over and over trying to get your crystals open. Well, there's some lag right there. Just hold your right trigger down and it will scroll through them. Eventually you'll have to drop your cursor down one row because the row will fill up. Doesn't look like, yeah, there we go. Okay, so just that many crystals that I had just now gave me quite a bit more stuff. I made 36 element last night off of what I produced on dust. I have another 14 sitting here right now just based on what I've made today, and I haven't even really been trying. I've just been goofing around trying to raise babies and not get them killed is what I've been working on for the most part. So yeah, this is going to be really good. Once I get 4 pair going, I honestly don't even know if I can keep 4 pair running at once, because that's going to be a lot of stone, but it just depends on how much plant species Y trap I can get out of what I'm growing up there, and how much stone, you know, and I may even supplement with metal, because honestly I'm getting so much metal that in a pinch I could throw some of that in there, because I'm really not using metal for anything, and metal is really good for gotchas. They like that too. It's just I normally don't use metal because it's just too expensive in the long run. When you could be making it into ingots, you will eventually get to a point that you need to make tons of saddles or something like that, and you're going to need a ton of ingots. So I normally don't use metal. I hoard all the metal I can get, but I'm, you know, right now I'm not doing anything other than just working on my farm, so I may end up supplementing metal in a pinch when I don't have time to go harvest stone, because right now I've got time because I'm off for the weekend, so I can, you know, throw an hour into stone harvesting here and an hour into stone harvesting there, and that usually a couple trips will get me by all day, it seems. But this is ×2 rates right now, so that does make a difference, because basically what that means is what I'm getting double than I normally would. So on a normal rate, it's probably going to cut me down, and I'm not going to spend more than 2 trips a day, so I probably won't have my gotchas running non-stop, but I will have them running, you know, while I'm playing and stuff like that. I don't really think I'll have them running unattended. I probably could though, because I could fill them up before I go to bed, and then in the evening they will run automated pretty much by themselves, and I won't have to worry about doing anything until I get up in the morning. I can just check them, unload the crystals, and then, you know, load them back up if I have time or whatever. If I have enough stone, I can load them back up before I go to work, that type of thing. But it just depends on how much time I can spend farming. But the returns are really profitable. I mean, you can see that I'm never going to want for black pearls. I'm never going to want for element anymore, because I'm going to be able to make quite a bit. Now, what I had been thinking about doing is, you can see my hard poly stash is pretty low. So I had been thinking about starting to work on making some gotchas that could help me produce hard poly. Some gotchas that could help me make obsidian, because I normally, there's my obsidian right there, normally don't have a ton of obsidian, so I do have one of the best places in the game to farm obsidian though, so I may just be lazy, I'm not sure, because Skull Island is one of the best places to farm obsidian on the center map, because there's just a lot of obsidian nodes up there. I'm just too lazy to go get it, even though it's just right there in front of my face, literally. But yeah, I don't know. I may flirt around with setting up some different gachas that have different resource production on them, just to see if it can help me, I guess, not have to play the game. I'll get my gachas farming and I'll never have to go resource collecting again, basically, is what it is. So I might as well just stay in my base the whole time. I don't know. That's a conundrum that some Ark players find themselves in. They'll get involved in breeding or something like this and they never leave their base. So yeah, I don't know. There's a whole wild world out there to explore, and I'll get to it eventually. I have played Ark for a long time, though, so, I mean, it's not like I haven't seen pretty much everything already at this point. Was I new to the game, though, I would be out and about a lot more and actually resource harvesting and stuff like that, because it's, you know, it would be new and it'd be fresh. But right now I'm such an old hat at this that I've seen it all and done it all pretty much, and this is just a rewind, because we're just now starting to get some of these maps again. It'll be like that when Genesis comes out too, because Genesis with its asteroid farming is going to be so crazy. I'm going to probably, I don't know, I hate to say that I'll drop the gacha farm at that point, because the asteroid farming for Element is just so good that I may actually, you know, transition into that. I don't know. But for right now, this is fun, and I'm having a good time with it. I will bring you back whenever I can make another pair of gachas to be able to expand the farm. So, yeah, I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much for your time. And I will see you in the next Let's Play video. This was Let's Play number 2, Gacha Farmin'. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you being here. Talk at you later.